Alrighty, so we are into week 3. So what I will do here is I will update a message in a moment here, just showing you, giving you some of the pertinent information. But last week, I read through the comments that you all posted about the course and how it can be confusing, and I totally get it and I totally hear you. So I thought what I could do is just show you the way I'm working through it. I try to give you some of these hints when I'm looking at or when I'm adding additional content instruction to the assignments. But here's my workflow, right? So the thing that I do is I go through and I watch the videos. And then what I do is when he gets to the exercises, I do those exercises and then check out the solutions. So that's just a really helpful process. And while I'm doing that, I keep an eye as I'm over here in the assignments, because then I go, okay, the assignments, once I get to one of the things like, okay, well, it's because I'm working through Flexbox right now, like I'm working on Flexbox. So then as I learn about things, I come over to Flexbox and I look at, this is just an example of what I need to do. And I'm like, as I read through it, because maybe I haven't watched all the videos yet, I don't completely understand what he means by, I understand row and column, but oh yeah, okay, I haven't gotten to some of these terms. So I keep an eye on that. That's how I do it, is I work through the content, and as I kind of finish a couple of sections, I'll review back to say, okay, now do I have enough experience or enough knowledge to do that assignment? And here's where one of the students asked in the discussion, Islam, I think, is that he was asking, because on my post, when I was posting in the assignments early on, I said attempt. And I could see where this would have been a little confusing, where I said, not on this one, because actually Todd on this one gave you a video for how to walk through it on the first one, but like starting on number 2, right? So I said, I ended up changing it because I thought it was confusing. Is like, watch the video, understand the assignment, attempt it on your own, and then watch the solution. And I get why that would be confusing, because there are times in the Udemy course that Todd does actually walk through the assignment when his on, and this is where it gets a little, just tracking it, when the hands-on exercises in the course line up with the hands are the assignments for our course. And I've found probably 3 so far that are like that, but that's where really what you want to be doing is working through this content and keeping an eye on the assignments. And then as you get to those, I'm just reiterating what I said, as you get enough skill to attempt them, then work on the assignments. Okay, and then reach out for help if you need some additional help. Now, the other thing I want to let you know is that the way I set up my local system, I will pull in first, I pull in your repos locally, because I like to render them out and look at them locally. And then, like, here's mine, right? And then I also brought in the code that Todd provided. Okay, so and then in here is where I will create folders to do some of the hands-on experience exercises in here. But I have one repo that is just for, right? So I actually kind of do them in both places. But most importantly for our course is I have my own repo that I have set up just for our assignments. And honestly, the reason I do that is it makes it a little easier for me to grade, because if I had to try to find it through all those different folder structures, right? Because it makes it easier to grade. That's honestly, and it's just good to separate these things out, right? But I'm just showing you how I do it. And the thing I was saying around standard file names, right? So making sure that you're using no spaces, no, and actually even where he does and, right? The ampersand, don't use that, because that will render as a special character inside the URL. So these he covered in the naming convention. So index is standard. He uses main. I use style. I'm not going to mark off for that, right? So FYI, that's the way I handle it. And then, like as an example, I'm working on Flexbox right now, and in this case, he has you create 18 pages. So I have an index file, and then I create those sub pages then to show that different work. So then my index file becomes just that, an index. Matter of fact, if you want to see, just FYI, yeah, here's the right. So this is how I set it up. Now you can do it where you do, individual folders in there, but generally what I want to be able to see is you point to one folder that I will then start to review your work on. Okay, I hope that helps. And part of it, like I said, is I think where it can get frustrating is if you're not tracking through the course and you're just looking at the assignments here, and it'd be like just reading them here will be, if you haven't gone through the Udemy course, will be a little more challenging just to understand what Todd's wanting you to do. Right? Like if you're not sure, if you haven't been through the how to build a horizontal menu, then that will be, it's like you read this, like, what does that mean? You won't know what that means until you go through that content. Okay, so just to maybe that helps, maybe not. I feel like I didn't do a great job of communicating that first time that not all hands-on on the hands-on out in the Udemy course, all of them are not what's listed on our assignments. A few of them are. And then but my general process is go through here, right? Get an understanding, do the hands-on assignments over here, and then keep an eye on the assignments for the actual course. And then as you gain the knowledge, then attempt those. Okay. All right. So coming back here. So here we are, we're moving into, and I just want to bring up a calendar. Oh, and by the way, if you didn't know, right? Like here we are right, I'm recording the Friday before we come into week 3. And then after next week, right, we're on spring break. So if you're not sure, right, spring break starts on Monday the 3rd and runs through the 10th. So there is no expectation on my part that you're going to work through spring break. I know I'm not going to work through spring break. Okay. So I will do my best to get out a video for next week, but it may not happen until that following Friday before we get back. And I noticed not a lot of you had signed up for Discord. So if you're looking for assistance, just know that, from other students and asking questions, that's definitely an option during spring break. If I see things and I'm able to reply, just know that I'm on break too. And I did post, by the way, about tutors for this class, Dustin and Zach, and I posted their schedules and then a link to the Zooms, but I'm going to update this content with something here. So let's just end this video now with saying, okay, as week 3 rolls in, right, what do you need to have completed, right? So now 1 and 2 was week 1, 3 and 4 was week 2. So 5 and 6, right? Week 3. And it's going to be like there's a little fewer assignments in 3 and 4, right? To be up with week 2. 5 and 6, especially when he gets into Flexbox, which I'll have to be honest is probably the content I'm enjoying the most because I've been wanting to learn more. I feel like my Flexbox skills could have been improved, so I'm happy to see that content for as well. Okay, so you need to have worked through 5 and 6 to be up to date with this course before we move into break. But you're welcome to do work. Just know I'm not going to grade. And in general, I am offline for spring break, which starts Monday, April 3rd. Okay, but next week round, please reach out. My office hours are listed in Simple Syllabus. You can see them as well. If those office hours don't work for you, reach out to me, right? Because, like, here's my office hours. I'm on BE 113, but during all of these hours, I'm in the office, but I'm also available on Zoom. But on Friday, which is today, it's Zoom only. Okay. So do know that how to reach out for help. If those don't work out for you, give me enough of a heads up that I will do my best to work out a time that works for both of us if those don't work for you. Okay. All right. Let's get into week 3 content. Have a great one. I'll talk to you later.